I was recently on the Math Hoffa show, and a brother, I guess he comes from a Christian background, but I did not know this, but he was asking a question, and I imagine maybe it meant to be combative, right? Or be debative. But I wasn't even thinking of, I said, okay, in this moment, I'm just going to completely just listen to everything that he's saying, because I can't truly respond correctly unless I listen. And what it does, it takes the air out of the argument, because every point of combat, you're now approaching and answering, right? And so when you don't listen, you're not truly understanding. But when you answer from an understanding perspective, it becomes a higher perspective than what was just given, right? So a person may want to have, I tried to set up an argument after that, but the way he answered the points that I was going to have next. Well, with women, so with I would say with the feminine persuasion and perspective is different, right? With women, you have to learn how to surf, right? A woman is like an ocean, right? Trying to argue with a woman is like trying to swim against an undercurrent. It's going to pull you under every time. The ocean is too powerful for man, right? So what man has to do is he has to learn to go with the flow of the ocean in order to ride the waves. You can't conquer the ocean. You can only flow with the ocean, right? And what I learned that with a lot of men, you try to make your woman more logical, and what that does is it takes away from her being feminine. Because the essence of a woman is her having her full emotional range and spectrum, right? And so you question her, which makes her question herself and makes her think in more of a logical manner like you. And then it makes her question you. And now there's two logics going back and forth in the household. So you have to learn to feel what your woman is saying, still position, your rationality. But women understand that men think from a rational and logical mind, but they don't like rationality because it destroys the point of understanding, right? So the moment that you go into the rational mind, they like, okay, I know you can come to a point and that makes sense, but you still don't feel me, right? You still don't understand where this resonated from, where this started from. This started in the soul, right? And you making a point of logic of the mind. And so there's a disconnect, right? And so sometimes, like in Way of Superior Man, he teaches, sometimes you just got to embrace your woman. Sometimes that energy ain't even about words. It's about embrace. It's about in that moment where that energy is riled up, give her a hug, fully embrace that energy. You got to understand the different caresses. And so a man may engage in a conversation thinking that his words is going to be the winning factor because he says, well, I'm right. But that was never the point. Nah, she wants you to feel something. And so if you can recognize what the feeling is in this moment, right? What the soul is in this moment, what the spirit wants in that moment, then you can circumnavigate, right? Because a woman gonna test you as well. And so I'm gonna tell you, this is just pure game. I'm gonna just give y'all some sauce right here, fellas. It's the hardest thing in the world, but I'm gonna tell you, man, don't get angry ever. If you want to win every single argument in life with a woman, every single one, don't get angry ever. I don't care how, no matter what's going on, it's not going to make sense. Your anger is most likely going to be valid, but don't get angry. You have to learn how to supersede that emotion. It's a test every single time, right? Don't get angry, right? See, even if you talking to a woman, right, that energy wants to keep flowing. It don't want things to end. Anger ends things. It comes to a point. Logic ends things. It comes to a point. Rationality brings things to a close. A woman is a flow. She doesn't want it to end. It's like when you catching a vibe with a woman and y'all having a conversation, the conversation can go all over, but it's a vibe. We just flowing. That's the best conversations that's never forgotten. Right? Like, damn. So that's why sometimes a man that's smart and too logical, right? He may not get the woman. It's not because she don't want a smart man. It's because he don't know how to flow, right? He's speaking in very logical, rational terms. You can't jump from subject to subject and just be in the moon and stars with her. She don't want nobody that can just say one thing, come to a point in the end, and now you don't know what to say next. Hey, how do you what you think about social media? She says that, there's nothing else to say after that. No, you just got to keep vibing. You know what I'm saying? You just keep vibing. It don't matter what's going on, you got to vibe. That's how a woman is. She's an ocean. She just wants that flow. You know, and so that's mainly the issue today is cats be mad at women, but really the fact is that men are forgetting how to, you know, understand women and flow with women nowadays, and it's becoming harder to them. And women don't even a lot of times know themselves, so they don't know what they want, right? And so they say, why do good guys finish last? Because good guys don't usually know this. A woman can know logically you are right for her. On paper, you got everything. But if she can't vibe with you, she can't feel you. And if she can't feel you, she go to the one she can feel. So then somebody making her laugh, guess what? They got her. You know what I'm saying? Dude could be 10 points uglier than you, you know, on the scale. But he can make her laugh. Now she vibing with her. She like, I ain't never felt like this before. I got full butterflies. She felt like high school when she was on the phone talking at 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? She wake up the next day thinking like, oh, I ain't never, yeah.
Now she hanging out of the studio.
Yeah. Start plotting plans. You know what I'm saying? Start having little images, put you up on her vision board. You know what I'm talking about? You up there. Yeah. And then I'm going to give you another piece of game. Smile. Now, it's so many ways. Now that I'm talking, I can write a whole book about this. Just because I actually grew up with people who taught me game. They taught me, and it ain't just game, but it's knowledge. You know, like actually understanding how you work and understanding how women's work is just different. You know, and so you cannot try to understand what's not meant to be understood. And I don't think women are not meant to be understood because, you know, to understand a woman is to recognize that she's the unsolvable problem, but they really not that hard to understand at the same time. You see, everything I just said don't even make no sense. That's how a woman is. Now, women make sense, but, you know, it's like a woman in her full essence of femininity, man, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. You know, but we at war, so a woman don't always get to do that. When you at war, you know, a woman got to be logical. She like, damn, man, they done locked up all of the men. You know, most of them don't want to be straight no more. You know, most of them don't want to be men no more. Most of them don't want the roles anymore. Then you got society pushing out everything that tells them not to be men and to act in a hyper-masculine manner, not in a divine or regular masculine way. And so, therefore, shit, she like, man, I got to listen. If he not going to be the man, I'm going to be the man. Because somebody got to, because listen, thinking like a man is survival. Right? So she said, well, I'm going to think like that then too. Right? See, back in the day, you can have a man in the household. He's so ambitious. He gonna bring home, you know, everything that needs to be brought home. She got a man that, listen, this is what I desire. She can put her desires in the man. Right? See, and it goes back and forth. That's all. It goes back and forth because a man can put his desires. Oh man, here comes somebody. Listen, fitness freak. I never said logic wasn't only a masculine trait because all human beings have the capability of thinking logical. But logic is a masculine trait. But there's nothing wrong with masculinity because both men and women have masculinity. I've never met a woman who just 100% femininity with no masculinity at all. But we are the whole embodiment of masculinity based on our chemical makeup. You know, you can't get mad at science. This is our biology. Well, everybody has masculine and feminine, but we operate better in the masculine. Masculine just means typical traits of a man. A man typically is logical. A man, I'm not talking about this unbalanced new generation. That's one of the biggest complaints that women get from men is thinking too logical about everything. We know this to be right. But we just like to argue sometimes because what I'm learning in society, people listen to what you say instead of adding the contents and being understood like, oh, I understand what he's trying to say. Add that for yourself. See, very intelligent people get to have conversations without having to break down low-level details because what's understood don't have to be said. That's why high-level conversations is the way it is. When I'm talking to ascended masters, I don't have to over-explain things because they already understand. Oh, he said this, but I can infer that he also meant this, that, and the third, that he's not generalizing whatsoever. Because we both know that we have a background of knowledge that we're pulling from. And what allows the conversation to speed up is us having a high-level conversation without having to draw down the details of the conversation because that's when we start debating on the details. Right? And so speaking high level is the intelligent way for masters to be able to move forward faster. So I give everybody, when I'm speaking to you all, I'm giving you that credit as if everybody is high level and you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Even without the necessity of saying everything in minor and minuscule details, right? So if I say women do something and men do something, I'm not saying everyone on the planet Earth. We're speaking in general terms, right? But what's understood don't have to be said, right? So when I assume somebody is intelligent, I'm not going to over-explain something to them because I already know they know. And so I'm assuming my audience is intelligent. So let's act like it. Let's act like it. That's all. But yeah, it's beautiful actually to recognize those differences. And you know, being logical is it's cool, but being illogical, there's beauty in abstract art. You know, like some things don't have to make sense in a traditional sense. Like some ideas they're gonna work, and you have to have a vision for it, and you get a feeling for it, and it's intuitive. Intuition it supersedes logic, right? It's a calculated understanding of something that you may not yet understand why, but you just know, right? Like intuition is key, and women have great intuitive powers. Great because women operate within understanding the spectrum of the emotional plane. Emotions are not a bad thing. It's what makes human beings human. It gives us our sense of love, depth, and empathy, right? It's what connects living things to care about each other whatsoever. Right? Women have to be more empathetic because women produce babies. Men don't produce babies. Men just know that the logic is I have to protect my family. I have to take care. I have to provide. You know, like that just makes sense, and I'm going to do it because that's my duty. So a man can be programmed quicker like a soldier because he can understand things that supersede his emotions. Right? Once he start, why I got to do this? I don't feel like it. That's when he's stuck in his emotions, and now he can't move like a man because a man is his mind. So he got to be able to program himself to use himself, and if he can't, then he don't feel like a man. He's telling himself stuff to do, man, we got to get this done. And then he procrastinates on it for 3 years. That ain't man business. A man, I told you to do this, man. He took care of business like a man. When a person say you took care of business like a man, they're not saying that, women don't take care of business. But a woman is a womb man. So the difference is you have a womb. You have this cycle of emotional plane and womb energy that you have that men don't. We don't have that. So we only take care of business like a man. We don't take care of business like a womb. Right? You take care of business like a womb man. I take care of business like a man only. Right? So just within that difference, you can see why men, when the brain focuses on one task, anything, it masters it quicker. Since our minds are built to be pure of logic, right? Then we are going to build up more dominant features, traits, characteristics in that particular area. But a woman has two different dualities of responsibility, right? So before she is a man, she is a womb, right? Because man is mind. Come on, talk to me now. Talk to me. That's what it is. Man is mind. Before a woman is a man, she is a womb. You dig? So therefore, her first responsibility, her first dominant is her womb energy. Then her mind energy. So she operates from that womb energy. Big womb energy. We big mind energy. You do what the womb do, I do what the mind do. But you got a womb and a mind, but the womb come first. So let me handle my business because my mind business come first. So this is what we need to take care of. And she going to have all of these other thoughts because the womb is that cycle of emotional plane and creative and creationist energy. You know what I'm saying? She got a factory in there you give her the high level, which is the sperm. Listen, hey, I'm going to give you this. You take care of business. The womb in there, hey, it manufacturing things. Don't even worry. I'm going to put together arm, leg, rims. I'm going to put together everything this goddamn baby need. You just give me the high idea. You dig? A thought is like a sperm. So if you got a woman on the team, women on the team be making dreams come true. That's just reality.